There's nothing really much to say about this movie besides it's mediocre. It's better than the fourth movie. Like, I liked 1, 2, and 3, and personally, 3 was my favorite out of the series. As iconic as the first two were, I really liked 3. Most people didn't. But a lot of people didn't like 4 and 5. And I don't really know much about 6, because that is a more recent one. It's still so surprising that it came out in 2019, almost 5 years ago now. Anyways, let's talk about the actual movie. The beginning of it. Some of the dialogue is like very not on the nose. Like, they'll say names of other movies like Judgment Day. And it's clearly that they're referencing, Terminator 2. It's not like referencing like the actual events. It's just like, hey, remember that movie? The movie that's better than this one? We're going to say it like 50,000 times in this movie. It just sounds like they want you to know that this is still in the series. Matt Smith is a background character. He plays the 11th Doctor in Doctor Who. That's what I know him from. Which I'll eventually watch all those seasons and review them, but that is a very long show, so not anytime soon. I might watch just the Ninth Doctor just to get my review starting, since he only got one season. Anyways, back to this movie. Matt Smith isn't very good. Like, he doesn't do anything. He's just a generic villain. So it could have literally been anyone else and it wouldn't have mattered. He shows up for like a few scenes. And the second scene when we first meet him, which you can barely call it that because if you blink, you'll miss him. He attacks John Connor and then he's barely in the movie until the end. Okay, yep. They wasted Matt Smith in this role. Terminator's a good guy once again. He kills like an evil version of himself in the beginning of the movie. But since that's outdated, we never see him fight himself again. It's just John Connor. They turn him into a full-on villain in this movie. After, constantly talking about how he's a hero and blah, 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 blah in every movie and shoving him down our throats, making sure we know who John Connor is. Because, yeah, he's an important role, so you constantly got to know he exists in the Terminator universe. Now he's a villain in this one. And not even a very good one. It's kind of lame. The Terminator straight up has a line where he's doing this dumb evil villain speech. Terminator throws something into him. He's like, John Connor talks too much. And then they just leave him there. He escapes eventually. His best line could have been delivered by anyone, and I still probably would have liked it as long as they had enthusiasm. Unlike Wonder Woman from Justice League, where she says, Kal-El, no. Anyways, yeah, he's just like, they have the detonator to save the world, blah, blah, blah. But this version of Arnold Schwarzenegger is supposed to protect Sarah Connor, so he's literally not allowed to kill her even if he wanted to. So, when she's being held hostage by John Connor, he can't blow up the place. Because he has Sarah Connor. Eventually, Reese shows up and tries to detonate it, but he does the whole liquid thing where he just gets up there in like a few seconds before they could even detonate it. Eventually, Arnold does win, and it seems like he's dead, but then he's back. And did I mention he's called Pops in this movie? Like he's a grandpa? Poor Arnold. They're still putting him in these movies, but they're disrespecting him by calling him old. Yeah, he's older, but come on, man. Then the movie ends with sort of a happy ending. Like, yeah, they stopped Skynet. It's done for good, but the future isn't set. So if they wanted to make another one, they could, which they did. Did not care for this movie, but at least it was semi entertaining, unlike the fourth one. The fourth one just bored me.